This basically confirms it for the Milwaukee Brewers, as a string of multiple moves that have just been made are leaking what the plan is for the Brewers here in this postseason when it comes to not just the rotation, but also the bullpen. We're going to be breaking down these most recent updates, what we have, as well as some very interesting ideas that have been touched on heading into the Brewers postseason. And your guys' opinion is going to seriously matter for this. And I want you guys to take a listen to this and give me your opinion in the comments below at the end of this video here. Before we do jump into this one, though, I have one request for you guys. And if you haven't hit the sub button already, be sure to do so. Join the channel here. We're under 100 subscribers away from 1,000. Your support's been absolutely phenomenal here. And I just want to say one big thank you here from this regular season. I appreciate all of you guys here watching these videos. Ever since the trade deadline when we started the channel, your support's been phenomenal, and we are not done yet for this season. We have the postseason coming up to buy a franchise record in wins, and we have a lot more ball to play. So you won't want to miss it. We're going to have it all right here. But let's jump straight into this, because obviously heading into the postseason, things are going in a much different direction from what we've seen from this Milwaukee Brewers team, especially now with this first round bye. We're getting a lot of players, updates on their return, their injuries, everything like this, and also an idea of where some players might actually pop into a lineup. And I want to start this one off first here, going over the roster moves made by the Milwaukee Brewers here. DL Hall, Trevor Megill, both called up, returned from injury. Eric Freddy coming in here, DFA'd, which, of course, sucks to see. Pitched well for his time, but when you're getting a guy like Trevor Megill back and DL Hall, it is a move that had to be made. And also, Carlos Rodriguez, option to rookie ACL Brewers. So, going into these moves here, this is obviously a great start. We saw them pitch the last game of the season, and I wanted to wait to give those updates until here because we got an interesting look throughout the game to see how, when their return mattered, what happened, the situation that they were put in, which I think is a very interesting kind of outcome here. And with this, the last game of the year, of course, Freddy Peralta got the 2 innings pitched just to keep him warm heading into the first game of the NLDS, as we do have to wait and to see who we will be playing. We do have a bracket update here later in this video. But going throughout there, DL Hall, Trevor Megill both pitched the 3rd and the 4th inning respectively, and having Trevor Megill come back in here, absolutely dominate, did not miss a beat in his return. A very, very good sign. DL Hall giving up a run with 2 hits. Ultimately, you really can't complain about that. Is another good arm that we can trust here in the bullpen. And going down throughout the remainder of this of the bullpen. Big question being raised is, will we see Trevor Megill close out games now in the postseason once again, like he did before the injury? We can still trust him. He's shown in his first appearance, and now with a week of recovery once again, he's going to be even better than he was in this game. But the question still is there. Will he actually close out games now for this team once again? And the way that we saw him beginning of the season, middle of the season, even till the end before he did get hurt, he was incredibly consistent, incredibly good as a closer. And with that now, will he still remain? Or will we see Abner Uribe take over that role from Trevor Megill now? And for Trevor Megill, it doesn't seem like it bothers him, especially with the quote he had to come out and say. He said, "I'm ready to go wherever they want me, to plug me and play me in the postseason." And we knew that Trevor Megill was never going to be a guy that would actually complain about this, a guy that would not come in here and avoid playing a game that he's not closing. He's ready to win, and he's been able to show that throughout his tenure this season, of course, with the Brewers in general. But this season specifically, when he's coming into close games, sharing time with Abner Uribe, he's been in the same boat. He came in, became a closer last year, ultimately became the closer full-time this year, and Abner Uribe got that opportunity while Trevor Megill was hurt. But I think either way, whatever the Brewers end up doing here, and I'll pull up this one again from the final game of the season, this is still an opportunity for either of those guys to go out, save a game, close a game. But Trevor Megill here in this one, the 4th inning, was pretty good. But, of course, this is just due to injury, coming back, getting some reps under his belt, also getting some of the bullpen, staying warm, heading into the postseason. So I wanted to pull that up, but also want to go over the most recent kind of instance that we saw of Jacob Misiorowski. His most recent appearance was in the bullpen, which is another question of what's going to happen with him? There's been a lot of questions raised. There's a lot of options to go about what Jacob Misiorowski will do, because I think there's a big question of, are you comfortable starting him in the rotation here, and whether that be in Game 3, because I think we do have the first 2 games locked down. I think that's pretty fair to say. But going into Jacob Misiorowski here in his first bullpen appearance, 2 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. So really not bad. 3 walks, not the greatest. 3 strikeouts, certainly very good in 2 1/3, but will he be consistent enough to be in a rotation or a situation, I should say, whether that is the rotation or the bullpen, where you could put him in for multiple innings and trust him? Because I think that's the one thing that teams are really comfortable with Jacob Misiorowski is getting around to him the second time. They may actually kind of find a feasible option against him, but you throw him in here for, let's just say, an inning, 2 innings, as more so of a setup slash relief guy, especially now you put let's just say Freddy Peralta, Jacob Misiorowski, you go Trevor Megill, and Abner Uribe. That could really solidify a game for this Brewers team if Jacob Misiorowski is solid and ready to go. And I think the question that Adam McCalvey asked here is really the one that we should all be asking ourselves, and something that I want you guys to answer in the comments below here is Misiorowski's final line in this debut. You know, like I mentioned, 58 pitches, 30 strikes, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 earned run. Do you think he is ready for an NLDS roster? Is he on it? Do you think he should even be in there? You know, I think it's very hard to assume that you can't put Jacob Misiorowski in there, but when you're looking at his most recent appearances, they haven't been overly great like we did see when his MLB debut occurred. So I think the question's still there, especially now where we know his arm is well exceeding his limit, his already career high in pitches, and that may cause a bit of concern for Pat Murphy and this Brewers team going forward. So I think I want to put you guys in the shoes here now of Matt Arnold, of Pat Murphy. Would he be on your roster if he were to be, ready to go here right now at this point? Is he in your list? But we have another few kind of updates here regarding it. Pat Murphy had said that these 8 players will be in town this week to take part in the bye-week preparation. So there could be certainly a few moves being made for this postseason roster, going through Craig Yoho, Easton McGee, Logan Henderson, one to take note of, Carlos Rodriguez, Brandon Lockridge, Jefferson Cuero, Tyler Black, and Anthony Siegler. Now, Brandon Lockridge acquired here at the trade deadline. More so, it's kind of just a bit of depth. Someone that I really don't hate on this lineup, and if the room is there, you absolutely bring him up. Logan Henderson on the 60-day IL, if he is capable of returning. That will add another arm that will have an option of getting into a game, maybe not in the NLDS, but if it does come down to the NLCS, we could see more likely a spot there from him. But going as well, Jefferson Cuero, one that we've spoken about, and someone who's been playing absolutely fantastic in AAA. There is a big question there as to if he can make this NLDS roster, make his debut here with this team in the postseason. That one is something that I think could be more of a kind of trailing option if that is and does come down to it. You make sure that happens if they feel comfortable. And of course, this week is going to determine a lot for these players, a lot for Pat Murphy, and a lot for Matt Arnold as to if they will be ready, if they're going to be comfortable in the situation, and if someone who you see, maybe like a Jacob Misiorowski, isn't going to be ready if they don't feel comfortable on. You have some pitchers there that can be options and can be very interesting options for this postseason team. So I want to know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below here. Of course, there's a lot of stuff that almost seemed to be revealed, kind of leaked by this Brewers team while we look at all of this from an outside standpoint. But I think it's still going to be the opening day, NLDS, day 1, the morning of the NLDS game 1 is when the roster's lock. So this Brewers team has a lot of time to make some choices here. But before we do finish the video off, I do have a few more updates. I want to pull this up, the postseason brackets. So as I'm sure many of you know right now, it's going to be either the Padres or the Cubs in the NLDS. Not sure yet who it could be, what it could be, but there are some options. And I'm really split between who I would rather play. I mean, overall, I think the Padres are the much better team. The Cubs, we know a little bit better, playing them more often. They know us a little bit better, playing us more often. So I want to get your guys' opinion on this as well. Who do you think is the better matchup? Who would you rather have? I think there's no right answers here. I don't think there's any wrong answers, but there certainly is favors that you may have in some other directions. So, as we know, the Brewers are going to be kind of molding their pitching around this kind of idea here, and it's only going to be a matter of time until we do see it happen. And one more thing I wanted to pull up here as well is that, of course, the 97th victory of the season, the last win of the regular season, setting a franchise record. What a year for the Brewers, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I appreciate all of you guys being here for about half the year since I was the trade deadline, starting this channel and getting you guys all here on board with Brewers Digest, and like I said at the beginning, there's no sign of slowing down. We're going to see this next year, the year after, the year after, the year after. We know this team is getting better and better and better for such a small market. We love this team. But that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out, though. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.